Singida na Tanzania nzima sasa tumekufikia kikamilifu bila nukta ya shaka. Sasa ITIGI TV inatoa nafasi za kutangaza biashara yako ili usikike kwa ukubwa unaostahili. Kupitia vipindi vyetu na mitandao yetu ya kijamii, matangazo yote ya video, audio na picha tutayapeleka hewani kwa bei nafuu kabisa. Kwa mawasiliano ya haraka na uhakika, tupigie kupitia namba zifuatazo: 0612722481 au 0699142788 au fika ofisini kwetu ITIGI Majengo karibu na stendi ya zamani. Hakuna kupata kigugumizi tena, ni ITIGI TV pekee kwenye ubora wa kidigitali. Tunasema hivi:
ITIGI TV, furaha yetu, tufike pamoja.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of my family, I'll be summarizing the story of my father, Majura Kaare. Majura Marua Timothy Kaare was born on the 6th of November 1957 in Uganda to Tanzanian parents Timothy and Yamada. Now, if you asked him, he would never admit to that Uganda part. He would insist without hesitation that he was born in Tanzania. He was the 6th out of 11 children, and as many of you know, middle children have two choices: fade quietly into the background or cause absolute chaos. Dad chose chaos. He loved his friends and he loved winding up his siblings even more, but he was also the one who would step in if anyone outside the family tried to give his brothers a hard time. His favorite pastime was boxing, something he always tried to fit in whenever he got the chance. But what really stood out about him from a young age was also his curiosity. He had this need to understand how things worked, and sadly for the chickens and lizards around the house, that curiosity often included them. On one memorable occasion, he even got hold of his younger brother's pet pigeon, and decided it would make the perfect science experiment. Safe to say, his love of biology wasn't always shared by the rest of the family. My father never struggled with his grades, and academic success came naturally to him. After completing his A-levels at Kahoro Bukoba Secondary School, he served his compulsory year of national enlistment in the army in 1979. Satisfied with what he thought was his lifelong career, he had hoped to serve 2 years, but chose instead to pursue his next calling, teaching. Much to the delight of his father, who had stated, "If you want to stay in the army, don't bother coming home." He left the drills and trench talk behind, establishing an unwavering work ethic and diligence he would carry with him throughout the rest of his career. He enrolled at the Kiraru University of Teachers in Iringa, where he earned a diploma in education and began teaching biology and chemistry to secondary school students in Kwiro Mahenga Secondary School. During his time, he gave his life to Christ and was baptized in Iringa. Teaching suited him well and became a lifelong thread, whether in the classroom, on the hospital wards, or at home, where he seriously met his match with times tables. In time, his path turned to medicine. While still teaching, he took leave to write a PCB exam, which earned him a space in medical school. He entered Mwimbili Medical School at the University of Dar es Salaam, where he would not only excel in his studies, but also make friendships that lasted a lifetime, including one of his closest friends, Professor Majinge. On campus, he was well known as the mischievous one, the class clown who brought laughter to his peers. Yet behind the jokes and the fun, he always managed to deliver top marks, a balance that made him beloved by his friends and respected by his teachers. He completed his internship at Bugando Medical Center and in 1985 graduated as a doctor. From there, he gave himself wholeheartedly to the service of communities across Tanzania. He worked in district hospitals in Iramba, Manyoni, Singida, and Mugumu, serving as a medical officer in charge and district medical officer. He cared for mothers in labor, children with fever, accident victims, and surgical patients with equal dedication. For nearly a decade, he devoted himself to St. Gaspar Hospital in ITIGI, where his skills in surgery, obstetrics, and gynecology served entire communities. This was also where he began his longest and best executed role to date as a father, and excuse my bias, but dare I say, some of his best work. But his journey did not stop there. In pursuit of greater knowledge, my father trained further abroad, completing advanced surgical studies in Ireland, England, and France. He earned his fellowship in Dublin and a diploma in otolaryngology from the Royal College of Surgeons of England. He never stopped learning, from advanced trauma life support to the latest in cardiac care, laparoscopic surgery, and ENT. Even into recent years, he kept his certifications up to date, always ready to serve in times of emergency. In Ireland, he furthered his career. Over 2 decades, he worked in hospitals across Cork, Limerick, Waterford, Galway, Sligo, Tullamore, and Mallow. He became known for his work in ENT, ear, nose, and throat surgery, and served as a trusted colleague. At the University of Limerick, he shared his knowledge as an ENT tutor, shaping the next generation of doctors. Teaching, once again, was at the heart of his work. What stands out most about my father's journey is not only his impressive list of qualifications, but the spirit with which he carried them. He was a lifelong student and a lifelong teacher, always giving his best to those who needed him. To him, medicine was never just a career, it was a vocation. What stands out most about my father's journey is not only his beyond the hospital walls, he is a man of humility, humor, and warmth. His mischievous streak never left him, and he had the gift of making people laugh, even in difficult times. He lived a life of service, dedication, and compassion. He leaves behind not only his family, but also a legacy of patients whose lives he saved, students he mentored, and colleagues who respected him deeply. Dad met Florence Joseph Misiba, better known as Mum, at a church camp meeting, and they married a year later on the 23rd of June in 1991 in Kamyonga SDA Church, and have loved each other for over 34 years. They had their first child, our sister Nyamata. Then came Nyubri, because of course, Nyamata needed a friend. Mom always said she was happy with the two, but of course Nyubri also needed a friend. So then came Tasia, who didn't really need any more friends, however she still got one, me. I like to say I was so eager to get here that I showed up early, 2 months premature, born on the hospital grounds in Mallow, not quite inside the hospital, but close enough. Mallow became our home base and has been our base ever since. As a father, he encouraged us to read, always dropping us off at the library, and he had this rule. If a book had a film, we had to read the book first before we could watch it. With our dad, one of the things we respected most was how hardworking he was as a doctor. It's not by chance that we all wanted to work in the medical field. His work ethic definitely inspired and influenced our career choices going forward. Nyamata, Nyubiri, and Nyamatasia all becoming doctors. However, I decided to study dentistry, and God willing, I'll be graduating next year. Dad was so proud that all 4 of his children got to wear scrubs like he did. But more than that, he was proud of the foundation he built in us. He emphasized us to stay close to God and to give our very best in our studies. In his final years, despite the pain and illness that he carried so privately, he remained dedicated to his family, and throughout it all, he continued to work as a doctor, caring for his patients with the same dedication he had always shown, until eventually his body simply needed rest. At home, he was a constant presence, always there to support his family, whether it was calmly riding along as his daughter tried to find her confidence as a driver, or finding himself on call once again as another daughter struggled through the stress of her intern year. He was always ready to listen and help however he could. He spoke honestly with me about faith and church, always highlighting to me the importance of God, and consistently motivated me to be committed to my studies. He cherished the quiet moments spent with his daughters, especially during their coffee dates, indulging in his newfound love for chai lattes. Those times meant the world to him. He was deeply supportive of his wife and her business. He encouraged her constantly, urging her to pursue her passions and reminding her how much her work mattered. He took genuine interest in every part of her journey, asking about her market days, celebrating her wins, and offering thoughtful insight when challenges came up. While she was out at the markets, he would be at home, caring for his houseplants, tending to them with the same quiet devotion he brought to everything he loved. His faith was central to everything he did. He loved singing hymns from the Seventh-day Adventist hymnal, both in English and Swahili. Whether he's in the car, at home, or simply enjoying a quiet moment, you could hear him singing those hymns softly to himself. There was his comfort and his strength. As we remember him today, we honor a man who gave everything to his calling, who never stopped learning, who never lost his sense of humor, and who carried his heart for people across every stage of his journey. His legacy will live on in the countless lives he touched, in Tanzania, in Ireland, and in the hearts of all who knew and loved him.
Now we have a special item from Dr. Scurry's family. Please invite you.
So, growing up in the church, me and my sisters used to sing a lot, just at the front. Towards the end, Dad wanted to hear us sing more, but unfortunately, he passed before we could sing him one final song. So this will be us just honoring his wish for us to sing. So we'll be singing in Swahili, but I'll give you a rough translation of what the song is about. So it says, "We will be happy one day when we bid farewell to this world. We will, as we go up to the skies and give a final wave. The world really tortured us. It disturbed us. It took away our loved ones. It took away our children. It took away our parents. But we will be happy that day when we finally say goodbye to it." And the second verse is similar to the first, but instead of saying goodbye to the world, we'll be saying goodbye to the devil, because the devil has caused a lot of strife and a lot of heartbreak. So he's ultimately the one involved in all the struggle that we're going through.
Tutafurahi sana siku moja tutakapoiaga dunia kwa heri, tutakapofika angani tukitazama kwa chini, tukipa mkono wa mwisho kwa heri. Ulitutesa mno mno, ulitusumbua sana, ulitunyang'anya watoto pia na wazazi wetu. Watoto walilia wazazi, wazazi walilia watoto. Leo tunakuaga ewe dunia, kwa heri. Tutafurahi sana siku moja tutakapomwaga shetani kwa heri, tutakapofika angani tukimtazama kwa chini, tukimpa mkono wa mwisho kwa heri. Ulitutesa mno mno, ulitusumbua sana, ulitunyang'anya watoto pia na wazazi wetu. Watoto walilia wazazi, wazazi walilia watoto. Leo tunakuaga ewe dunia, kwa heri. Ulitutesa mno mno, ulitusumbua sana, ulitunyang'anya watoto pia na wazazi wetu. Watoto walilia wazazi, wazazi walilia watoto. Leo tunakuaga ewe dunia, kwa heri.
ITIGI TV, furaha yetu, tufike pamoja.
Habari, kwa jina langu naitwa Joyce, ni mkazi wa ITIGI. Ninapenda kufuatilia ITIGI TV ambayo inatoa updates tofauti kama burudani, michezo na taarifa mbalimbali ambazo zinahusu halmashauri ya ITIGI. Inapatikana kwenye mitandao ya kijamii kama Facebook na mitandao mingine. ITIGI TV, furaha yetu, tufike pamoja.
Hello, mambo zenu. Kwa majina naitwa Josephine, ni mkazi wa ITIGI. Napenda kufuatilia ITIGI channel. Inatoa taarifa mbalimbali, burudani, michezo. Nakaribishwa pia muendelee kuifuatilia channel yetu, ni channel nzuri. ITIGI TV, furaha yetu, tufike pamoja.
Hello, mambo vipi? Naitwa Mariam, natokea ITIGI Tambukareli. Mimi ni mdau wa ITIGI channel, na channel yetu inaelimisha, inaburudisha, pia inatoa elimu kuhusu mambo mbalimbali. Tunawakaribisha watu wote, furaha yetu, tufike pamoja.
ITIGI TV, furaha yetu, tufike pamoja.